that's it. That is maximum brightness. So I guess that's where I'll be leaving it. Now, if you're here for a review of the Godox LR120 ring light, it is really good? I don't really know, because I'm not going to use this light in the way it was designed to be used. I want to get creative, use it as part of the scene, use it as a prop for our model to interact with. In fact, I'm going to do anything except put my camera through the middle and use it in the way it was ever designed to be used. Now, if you want to find out the actual specs for this light, check out the gear links to Adorama below and you can read all about it. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is, well, let's get a light set, let's get a model in, let's get shooting. To help me out today, I've got the amazing Chloe. Chloe's going to be the model for this photo session, and as you can see, I've got my ring light set up in a fairly traditional lighting position, not a traditional ring lighting position, just a traditional light position, because these lights work just fine as normal lights. The thing is, I haven't just got a single light. If you're using an LED light, any LED light, you're not working with one light, you're actually working with two, because there is also the room lights to take into account. And if I take a picture right now, it's going to look okay, and that's simply because I'm mixing the room lights, which are quite bright for this video, and the ring light, which is quite close to Chloe. With flash, I would underexpose the room and fill in with the flash, but LED doesn't have that amount of power. So with the LED, to get control of the lighting in here, I'm going to close all the curtains and switch off the room lights. I've actually left just a little bit of room light on so you can still see me in the video, but now this LED is the main light lighting Chloe, and it looks like this. Here we go, Chloe, quick little test photo. Really nice soft lighting, and of course we have the classic ring catch light in her eyes. Now I've got control of the room lights, let's talk about the camera exposure, because unlike flash, this is going to be a variable exposure as we move the light around. But there are a few things I'm going to dial in, and it's all going to center around the shutter speed, because I want to make sure I get a shutter speed of at least 200th of a second. Now to get there, I'm going to change my ISO up and down as the light moves around. I'm also potentially going to change my aperture, because I might want to get more depth of field or shallower depth of field, depending on the setup and the position of my camera. So all of those things I'm going to watch and change as we go along, but hopefully I'll keep my shutter speed fast enough to avoid any camera shake and model movement. Okay, with that in mind, let's see if we can do something a bit more creative than this. So the first way I'm going to use the ring light in a non-traditional ring light way is to put it up against the wall. Now this is going to get a nice beam of light down here, but it's quite a wide spread. It should look quite interesting if you include the circle of the ring light in the photo as well. Now where Chloe goes is going to make a difference. So at the moment she stood just in front of the ring light, literally no more than about a foot away from the wall. And if I take a picture of Chloe as we are now, what I get is basically a silhouette, which is not really what I'm after. Now we could actually work with that. We could make this work. Chloe, do you want to turn towards the wall? There you go. So if I turn Chloe towards the wall, now I have quite an interesting silhouette. I mean, you know, if that's the look you want to go for, that's not bad. But if Chloe stays as she is, but steps back against the wall, I can see that she moves into the light, and all we've done is move her back by 1 foot. Because Chloe is an expert model, she knows to look towards the light. It's a really simple setup that works powerfully in black and white. I think we should take a few photos like this. So Chloe, are you ready? Okay, here we go. I'm not keen on the USB cable that's powering the ring light, so I'm planning to remove that in post-production, but leave the grip arm in the picture. So for the second setup, I've changed things slightly. First of all, you'll notice that we have black fabric up rather than the white wool. And I want that because I want a pure black background. And this is a really easy way of getting it. Now, you might think that just because the light is going to go in this direction that we would get a black background, but these low-cost LED lights have a little bit of light that's coming out from behind. That might come in useful for our last setup, but for now, the black wall is just going to help to hide that. So I reckon something like that. Chloe, do you want to come and stand in front of it? Because this time we're going to use the ring light as a background. So if Chloe looks at the camera, we're going to get an okay picture, but there are a few things we need to correct and fix here. The first one being, well, I can definitely see the grip arm coming across from the side. Of course, I could remove it in Photoshop, or I could just get one of my black t-shirts and sort of wrap it around the grip arm, and with a couple of clamps, just sort of clamp it into place, something like that. And now that should be covered up. Yeah, look at that. Problem is solved. That works well, but now we've got to think about where Chloe is going to be, because if she looks at the camera, it sort of works, but it's not really the look that's going to fit in with this. So Chloe, can you turn and look to the side? Because once again, this is going to be a profile type picture. I quite like the idea of having the ring light mostly in front of Chloe, but when I do that, a lot of Chloe ends up in deep shadow. So I'm going to add in a second light, and this is just going to be a separation light. And this is a nanolight tube light, so pretty much at the other extreme of the price range, but that's the great thing about LED lights. They will all mix together really very well. So this light's job is to put light on the top of Chloe's head and down her back. Let's see how this looks with the room lights turned off. It looks like this. And that is this setup done. So I think we should try a few photos like this. Chloe, are you ready? Okay, let's take a few photos, let's turn all the room lights off, and let's fire up the smoke machine. This looks great, but imagine how much better it would look with some smoke. The smoke needs to be backlit, so it has to be between the light and Chloe, and also it has a slight blue tinge, which I think will show up well in the photos. And the last way we're going to use the Godox LR120 is basically as a prop. So it's going to be something that Chloe can actually hold and interact with, and it is just about big enough to fit over the top of her head, so that might be a clue on what to do with it. But first of all, if this is a prop, we actually need some other lighting on Chloe. So I've got not one but two of the nanolight tubes, and before we see what that does, let's just see how the nanolight tubes are looking. So let's take a quick test photo like that. I position them either side of Chloe to give me a really strong edge light. Now you'll notice there's not a lot of light in Chloe's eyes with this, but don't worry, we're going to add another light in, which of course is going to be our ring light. So Chloe, not only are you going to use this as a prop, but you're also going to use it to light your face as well. So quite a lot of responsibility there for you, but I'll give you that. So this is going to be a little bit kind of random. I don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work, but I do know we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. So Chloe, are you ready? Okay, let's see how this plays out. The controls for the LED are in the cable, which helps me to get a nice clean ring of light, but I can't remove the lighting stand, so I'm trying to make sure that stays behind Chloe's head. Of course, I'm not really the target market for this light. It's designed for content creators who want to put their phone in the middle and get great light on themselves. And I'm sure it works really well for that, but I'm also sure it works superbly well as a low-cost light that you can include in your photo sessions. Now, if you've enjoyed this video or you've got any questions, leave me a comment down below. Whilst you're there, check out the gear links for this light and everything else I've been using. And of course, wait for it, click on that subscribe button. Now, if you want to find out how to use a ring light better than I've just done, then check out this video up here. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.